Hello everyone, this is SageEthereal, and welcome to episode 11 of my FTB Infinity Evolved Expert Mode playthrough. Picking up soon after we left off in the last episode. Last episode we spent some time setting up a mob farm here in this crypt type area that used to be a Thaumcraft dungeon. So you can see I've spruced it up just a little bit, covered up this hole here with some glass. These are from DecoCraft. There's some coffins. So, still not done, but... Oh, and this is a carpenter's door with some more iron bars. Come down here. See that it's not running at the moment. That's because I left it running overnight. I have 2048 of all the main mob drops, as well as some raw chicken and feathers from, I'm guessing, chicken jockeys. Don't have anything else at the moment. The thing is not spawning anything but what the spawners do, so only zombies and skeletons, which isn't terrible. It's not great. It'd be nice to be getting some other spawns in there, but eventually we'll set up probably a cursed earth mob spawner too, just to kind of get some more of the other stuff. Now, these barrels here have the void upgrade, which means that anything above their limit that they can hold, which is 2048, will just get voided, destroyed. So you don't have to worry about it. You'll also notice that all of these barrels are locked. That is using this little drawer key here. Pretty standard recipe. This just takes any sort of drawer surrounded by sticks to get these upgrade templates. And you can use that to make a drawer key, which you can use to lock the drawers so that only what's in there can go in, basically. So if I were to take out all the chicken, you'll see that it remembers what was there. Even though there's 0 in there, you can see up on Wayla at the top, 0 raw chicken. So that means that nothing that's not specifically set up here is going to go into any of these drawers. It'll end up here, and then if this fills up, it'll go in the trash can. That's pretty much all that's changed here. You'll notice I did put down a drum here. That was because the vacuum hopper had a bit of experience in it. I think that was due to the fact that I had manually killed some mobs down around this, and they dropped experience and it got picked up. I did one small change in here. You'll notice I took out a conveyor belt that used to be there and added more punji sticks. The reason for that is that the baby zombies and things like that were spawning in there weren't tall enough to hit the punji sticks I had there before. So now I have 2 sets, and it is working as intended. I also have a sound muffler from Extra Utilities, which is why it's not so unbelievably loud. So you can see they're dying, and you're not really hearing it, which is kind of part of the intent. So I'm not going to be running that at the moment. I have more than enough of what it's giving me. So that leads us into what we're going to do today. And that is, I have a list here. We are going to make some more tech stuff in the grand hopes of eventually getting to a jetpack. So to do that, we're going to need to make a rock crusher. This is a machine from Railcraft that, as the name implies, crushes rocks. We're going to need a macerator. This is another of the very low-level Industrial Craft 2 machines. Fluid and solid canning machine. We're also going to need, I should probably leave this out, the solid heat generator, which we're going to use to power the fermenter. And we're going to use all these Industrial Craft machines to create biogas, which we will use to power the jetpack we get. So the first thing we're going to do, and I prepared a lot of this ahead of time, is make a rock crusher. So this is actually a multi-block structure you're going to need a 3 by 2 by 2 deep multi-block structure to get this to work. So that comes out to 12 blocks. Each craft gives you 4, so you need to make 3 crafts worth. So the hardest part here, well, the diamonds are kind of annoying. I have just enough, but I'm pretty low on diamonds now. The hardest part is probably the blocks of steel, and that's the steel that we're making in our blast furnace. Just in the standard block craft. So I think what we're gonna do, this place is already getting quite cramped, but that's okay. It is all temporary. We're gonna hop down here and we're gonna embed this in the ground, which isn't probably the wisest idea, because if you were to stand on this while it's running or has power, it will damage you. But for now, I think we'll just deal with it. So we're gonna have to give it power. So you can see in the Wayla tooltip at the top, it is now full of power. And, oh, I forgot something. And hopefully it's not going to be too hard to get. I don't know if I have any on hand. Oh, and a little bit of lag. So the first thing we're going to need to do in the rock crusher is make some crushed obsidian. And I'm not sure if I have any obsidian on hand. I do not. That's annoying. So what we're going to do is I'm going to show you one of the methods of making obsidian. I believe I discussed it earlier on in the series, that you can make obsidian in the smeltery. We're going to turn that on so it doesn't automatically push out. We're going to take some lava from this bucket. I think I changed this up since we last talked to. So this is a transfer node pulling liquids out of this lava bucket and into the seared tank. This is a storage crate with the transfer node pulling items out and into the smeltery. So when I'm ready to smelt anything up, I just pull out the ore, plop it in here, and it fills it up and does its thing. Once it's melted, if I have this on, it'll automatically pour it out into the ingot cast, which then goes into this chest. But what we're going to do is we're going to right click and get a bucket of lava, and then we're going to right click on the drain. I thought this worked. Maybe it doesn't work in this version. So if that doesn't work, we're going to have to pump it in. Not too big of a deal. Put this on the bottom of this tank. We're going to get rid of this just in case. Oop, not that. As you can see, it's going out and into the smeltery. And we're going to need to make 3 of these, which means we're also going to need to run out and get some water. Sleep since it's getting dark. I tried to have everything prepared, but obviously I didn't do a very good job. So we're going to grab some water. And then if we do the same sort of process here, actually going to really quick is make an infinite water source so I don't have to run back down there to get the 3rd bucket we need. We now have water and lava in there, and it's making obsidian. Perfect. 6 ingots of obsidian equates to 3 blocks. Patch that up so we don't need it. And we're going to quickly make that. And I will get this all put back together while this stuff is casting out. And if we put this obsidian into the rock crusher, what we'll get is crushed obsidian, which we need to make an industrial craft 2 macerator. So back over to the little workshop area. Not sure if I ever pointed it out, but these are Pam's Harvest Craft apiaries. You can find bees out in the wild. If you put them in here, they'll make wax comb, honeycomb, and then these bee grubs. If you take a bee grub and the depleted queen bee, You can craft the queen bee into royal jelly. Combine that with a bee grub, and you get another queen. So, infinite honey. Just gotta babysit it a bit. And if we come back here, if I were to step on this, as you can see I took some damage. So that is going to be one definite hassle of having it in the ground. But there's not really any place else we can put it at the moment. And we get our crushed obsidian. Once we get our last one here, there's also a chance of getting this obsidian dust. I'm going to come over here, and we're going to make a macerator. So this is the recipe. It's a crushed obsidian, the basic machine casing, which we've seen before, the iron chipset and the iron plates, the electronic circuit, which we've seen before, the insulated copper cables, iron plate, and redstone. Gets us a macerator. So this functions pretty similarly to the rock crusher, although there are some things that only the rock crusher can do. I believe only the rock crusher is capable of making the crushed obsidian. But we're going to hook this up to power. We'll just do this for now. And if I were to say, can I macerate uranium? Looks like I can. If I put uranium ore in, I should get 2 uranium dust, or crushed uranium ore, which I could process further down the line. You can also do this with your standard ores. So put a piece of iron ore in there, get 2 crushed iron ore, which you can smelt up into iron ingots, so it's another ore doubling mechanism. We're also going to want to get a fluid solid canning machine. This is used in a couple different things. Basically, it cans. It cans things like the name implies. And finally, we're going to need a solid heat generator. Let's place that down here. And a fermenter. So this takes burnable fuels and creates heat units. And the heat units can be used by different machines, like the fermenter, instead of energy units like these electrical type machines. Problem is that these only output their power to this copper looking side. So what we can do is we can right click to rotate it, and now that's facing up like we want it to. We're going to put this on top, but again it only accepts power through this side. So we're going to shift right click on the top, which is the same as right clicking on the bottom. So that's making it face down. So if you shift right click, it faces the opposite direction of the side you clicked on. And we are set up to get some basic biogas production. We're also going to want, of course, the jetpack. So this takes some iron item casings, an electronic circuit, some redstone, and one of these universal fluid cells, which is just glass pane and some tin item casings. And we get an empty jetpack. So we're going to need to fill it up. And to do that, I think I have some on me, some saplings. We're going to start by making bio chaff. It's made in a macerator with some different organic materials. So you can use a plant ball, seeds. One of the most efficient ways is actually saplings. 4 saplings to 1 biochaff. Actually going to need that bucket in a minute. Come over here to the macerator. We'll take 20 saplings and drop them in. And those are going to grind down into biochaff. Also going to need some water for this. Luckily there is a little pond out here. There's actually another one in the back as well. One off to the left and one off to the right here. We're going to take the biochaff and we're going to drop it in here in the fluid enrich mode. Means we can put an item in the center. We should be able to, we might actually have to drain these water buckets out. So we're going to use drain from cell into tank. It's going to pull the water out and drop it into this tank over here. We keep the bucket, luckily. Let's grab one more for now. Grab some more of this biochaff we're making. And once this is done, we can move to fluid enrich mode and put the biochaff here. Now we need the water actually on this side. So we're combining it with the biochaff to get biomass. So we can easily switch the tanks like that. And as you can see, progress bar is going and we should get some biomass. So another step in the process done. We're going to need to actually cook that in our fermenter, which has a slightly complicated interface. I'm going to be completely honest, I've never actually used this machine, but hopefully it's not too scary. So we're going to again switch to drain from fill cell from tank, again switching tanks so that we can put it into our bucket. Maybe. It may not like being put into a bucket, in which case what we're going to do is we're going to take our tin and roll it into, actually no, that's not what I need, a tin plate. We're going to take the tin plate and extrude it into fluid cells. Now I'm hoping these will work to contain the biomass. So empty cells. Drop those here, and progress bar, things are running. Our power's not great. It's drained all these out. That's gonna annoy me and probably kill me if I'm not being careful. But once we get one of these, two of those, we should be able to put them somewhere in here. Okay, so they're drained into the fermenter. Let's grab, do I have any fuel? See if coal coke will work. So that's burning, generating 20 units of heat, which is being passed up into the fermenter. Take this and also put it up here. And what it should output is biogas. Let's see. Yep. Okay, so it's not, well, actually it is a somewhat decent conversion rate. So that took 10 millibuckets of biomass, but we got 200 millibuckets. So you get 10 times more biogas than the biomass you put in. So that is actually quite a good return. What I'm going to do is quickly run over here. I think we might need some more fuel. So I'm going to grab some of this coal coke. Getting night again. Always is in Minecraft. I wouldn't mind finding a decent mod that altered the time scale so that days were longer. Because once you get a sleeping bag or a bed, nighttime's kind of no longer a danger, so there's not really any reason not to skip it. To be perfectly fair. So a byproduct of this is ash, which I don't know if it actually has any use. According to NEI, it doesn't. So that might just be a waste product. But burning the coal coke, generating the heat, creating the biogas. Can I put this in here? I can. Now we have 600 millibuckets, so that's 6/10 of a full bucket. a full bucket being 1,000 millibuckets, of biogas in our jetpack. If we were to put it on, we should be able to fly. I hear it. Let's see. Options, controls, IC2, boost key, mode switch key. We'll do that, and no, that. Let's see if any of these have any effect. Whoop, not that. So, shift? If it's not completely obvious, I have not used the Biogas Jetpack before. Maybe we don't have enough fuel? So, we're learning together. I'm floating a bit, but it's still not really propelling me. Interesting. Very interesting. Might have to cut here and do a little research as to why this isn't working. I'm sure to some of you it's completely and totally obvious, but to me, I'm just kind of furiously hitting buttons on the keyboard at the moment. I'm gonna have to figure this out. I thought that the Biogas Jetpack gave you creative type flight. So I will be back in just a second. Alright, so I am back after a little bit of research. Apparently this jetpack is pretty crappy. It basically comes down to that. It works a bit, so I can fly, but it goes through the biogas really quick, and it's not perfect. Now, it's possible to turn on hover mode, but as you can see, hover mode isn't much of a hover. So I must have been wrong about the the biogas jetpack being the decent one that allows for creative type flight. That may actually be the electric jetpack. Probably had them backwards. So this is quite a bit more expensive, and it requires something we can't make at the moment, which are these intricate circuit boards. Also the signalum. So what we're going to do instead, I will take it and keep it with me. I'm not going to wear it though. It'll run out of juice really quick that way. Another little thing that I'd like to get set up is, if I have the resources, and I may not, would be a sort of cobblestone generator. Now I think the earliest tier one we can get to is the... I'm 1 diamond short. That's not good. But we can fix that. Maybe. Hello? Diamond. Okay, you went in there. So the earliest one I think we can get to is the extra utilities version, which requires one of these world interaction upgrades. So a diamond pickaxe, some iron, and some lapis. We're going to make a quick diamond pickaxe and a world interaction upgrade. What we're also going to do is temporarily borrow this cache of cobblestone. assuming I have some more space in my inventory. So what can go in here? That and that can go in there. Take out some of these unnecessary tools. A little disappointed by the jetpack. More disappointed that I had gotten them mixed up and that the Biogas Jetpack wasn't the better of the two. I thought that since it was slightly more difficult to use, or to fuel, that it was going to be better, but I may be wrong. Also, that could be Infinity Evolved expert mode tweaks doing stuff like that. So I don't know, maybe in the normal version or the normal game, without all the expert mode changes, it might be better. But to get a cobblestone generator going, I'm going to grab a bucket of water and a bucket of lava and a item transfer node. And just temporarily, we're going to set this up out here, somewhere preferably away from anything flammable, as there is going to be lava involved. Maybe down here by the workshop. Out in this field. Should be safe enough. We're gonna dig. Again, temporary. Lots of this stuff's temporary. And we're going to put a bucket of lava next to a piece of cobblestone next to a bucket of water, or a block of water. Now this is basically a normal vanilla cobble gen. If we put down our transfer node onto the cobblestone and our cache on top and add a world interaction upgrade, you can see it's pulling cobblestone and filling up our cache. Now at the moment it's pretty slow, but we could speed it up with some speed upgrades. But as you can see, infinite free cobblestone flowing into our cache, which will come in handy for some of the larger builds that I might want to be getting into eventually. Not to mention, you never want to run out of cobblestone. It's extremely annoying when it happens. Doesn't happen very often, but when it does, it's like, ah. I need to actually go dig up stone? That sheep is bothering me. In fact, I'm going to use a golden lasso to pick it up and put it here with the rest of the sheep. There we go. And I think that is actually going to be the end of the episode. So, semi-productive. The rock crusher will come in handy. The macerator will come in handy. And the fluid solid canning machine will come in handy. We'll be using all of these machines more in the future. Ouch. The heat generator and the fermenter, not quite as handy, since this doesn't seem to be super amazing. Although making the biogas, we could use that in another type of generator for creating some power, so that could work. But aside from that, whoa! So more power is more better. Let's see what hover mode's like. Oh, so it is this one. Creative hover. You just have to have it fully or near fully powered up. And it is eating through the fuel like crazy. Turn off, turn off, turn off, turn off. There we go. Wow, you go up really fast. So the idea behind the jetpack, one of the reasons I wanted it, aside from making things easier to build, because I can fly around, is combined with the hang glider. I can go way up and then use the hang glider to actually travel around, which is far more efficient than trying to hover around long distances with the jetpack itself. But that is it for this episode. Thank you all for watching. I have been SageEthereal, and this has been Feed the Beast Infinity Evolved Expert Mode episode 11, I think it is. In the next episode, we'll probably be doing a little bit more tech stuff. I don't think I'm going to be doing too much between episodes, except for some mining. I'm starting to run low on materials, so probably going to head down into the mine shaft and do a little more mining. But aside from that, thanks again for watching. If you have any feedback, please feel free to leave it in the comments section below, and I will be seeing you all in the next episode. Thanks for stopping by.